Everyone that is watching this video can pass that challenge. This is the new easy way to become a funded trader. Let's get into it. Okay guys, the landscape of prop firms is changing, and I would say it's for the better, because now we have more choices and we have more options, we have more prop firms, we have more challenges, and we have different rules. And these are things that we can use to our advantage, and these prop firms are basically playing against each other, right? They want the lowest percentage to hit, they want the lowest amount of time that you have to trade, the maximum amount of time that you have to trade, the lowest prices, and this is only good for us. We have to use this to our advantage, and this is exactly how we're going to do this. So there is a new thing in the prop firm scene, and it is a one-step verification. If you don't know what a one-step verification is, it is basically that you need to only pass the challenge once. So you only need once 10%, 12%, 8%, however how much it is. I think it is almost every time 10% that I have seen. And you only need to pass it once and you're done. You are funded. This is crazy, right? This is so crazy. But on the flip side, you can risk less, and this can be a problem. So of course, if they would give you 10% targets, once a verification, and a 8% or a 10% drawdown limit, everyone would do it, right? So that's why they have to change it a bit and give you a lower percentage that you can actually use to trade with. So most of the times that I've seen, it is 5%. And if you hit 5%, you're out. I hear some of you thinking already, how can we use this to our advantage? And how can we change our risk management according to this and make sure that we pass the challenge? Very good. So we're going to use a once-step verification. And secondly, we are going to use a prop firm that doesn't have a time limit. Yes guys, also something new in the prop firm scene. There are prop firms out there without a time limit. And I know thousands of people are going to ask me which prop firm I will be recommending then. I will be recommending Lark Funding. It is basically a new prop firm. We have a little collaboration going on right now that we made my own trading competition. Signups are closed, guys. I'm sorry. The due date was today, so we're starting tomorrow. And basically, it's our own trading competition where people are competing against each other to win multiple funded challenges. So that's really cool. So that's why I use Lark Funding. And the thing that I like with them is that they have this one-step verification. It is a 10% target. You have a 5% overall drawdown limit, and you have a 4% daily drawdown limit. So basically, how can we use this to our advantage? We will need a strategy, and it doesn't really matter the strategy that you use in order to catch your trades, of course. The strategy that I'm talking about is your risk management strategy. So how are we going to approach this, and how are we going to actually do this? So guys, of course, the first thing that you need to do is risk less. Whatever you're risking right now, risk less, bro, risk less. It is really important that you keep your risk very small. You only have 5% to play with. So basically you want to make sure that you have as much trades as possible in order to complete your challenge. So if you're risking a 0.5%, you have 10 trades that you can lose in a row without even winning one before you lose the challenge. If you risk a 0.25%, you have 20 trades in a row that you can lose before you lose the account. It is really important, guys, that you, whenever you're doing this, you really respect your risk management plan. Because I can say now, okay, you have 10 trades in a row, but if you're then risking 1% on one trade, you're messing the whole plan up. You don't have 10 trades in a row anymore. That one trade is counting for 2 now. If you're risking 2% in a day, bro, this is 4 trades. 4 trades of that 10%. So it is really important that you have that risk management plan in place, and that you really respect it, and you really, like whatever you're doing, make sure that you're respecting and following the trading risk management plan. That is the most important thing whenever you're encountering a challenge like this. So let's say you do that. Let's say you risk a 0.5%. Then you're like, okay, but it's going to cost me so much time before I can even pass the challenge, right? Let's say you're risking 0.5% and you're aiming for 2 out trades. So basically you're making 1% if you win, you're losing 0.5% if you lose. Let's say with a 50% win rate, you will need 20 trades. Yeah, you will need 20 trades before you can pass the challenge. Maybe for me, it will be like 2 months, right? But that's the thing. You don't have a time limit. Literally, guys, this is so insane, and this is so mind-boggling. You don't have a time limit. If it takes you a year, it takes you a year. If it takes you 2 years, it takes you 2 years. It's not going to take you 2 years, by the way, okay? But you know, you get what I'm saying? If it takes you 6 months, it takes you 6 months. If you're in drawdown 2% for 2 months, nobody cares. You can get back out of that drawdown. You can treat this challenge as it is a real trading account, because you don't need to rush in order to make those percentages. So it's a very bold claim, but if you can trade and if you follow your trading plan, everyone that is watching this video can pass that challenge. Because even if it takes you 6 months, it takes you 6 months. Like I said, it doesn't matter. And that's the crazy thing about it. And if you don't know if you can pass that right now, I would recommend you to open up a demo account or open up a small live account like $100, $200 or whatever is small for you, and just trade with that. Trade with that and try to make 10% and see how much time that takes you. If you're not convinced yet, do it another time, do it another time, do it another time. Do it as much times as you need before you are confident enough to start that challenge. And that is a problem with a lot of people, and someone also reacted this on the last video that he blew 6 100k accounts in a row. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? We are blowing 3-4 grand in a row? Why? If you can't trade, and if you're not ready enough for a challenge, don't do it. And I said this many times before, this is also something that I needed to hear when I started out trading. I spent, bro, 5, 6, 7k on challenges. 7k wasted on challenges. Imagine if I would have put that in my own account. I would be trading for a living right now only using my own account, right? By just compounding it and just building that up. But no, that 7k is just wasted. So that is a lesson for you. If you are not ready for a challenge, please do on demo first. Please do on a live account first, small live account, and build that up. Do that 10% over and over and over again. And I don't want you to risk $10 if your account is only 100, because that's not realistic. Then you're risking 10% in order to make 10%, right? Everyone can do that. And I can still debate with that because some people don't want to risk $1 and sometimes commissions and everything gets in the way. Risk 10, but then make 100. Then you want to make sure that instead of making 10%, you're making 100%. You're still using the same ratio. And in this case, you even want to make 200% because you're only risking 0.5% on the one-step verification challenge, right? So guys, I think this is just a real game changer, and a lot of prop firms of course offer these. I'm not familiar with them because I just found out about this one-step verification through log funding, and yeah, I think it is very cool. I think it is very insane. If you still want to use a two-step verification challenge, they also offer that right now. If you sign up for them and you go to the dashboard, then you can also do the two-step verification challenge. With the two-step, you still have some more room to play with, right? And for some more aggressive traders also like me, that could be more handy. I've actually been thinking about just getting that one-step verification and just risking 1% right off the bat, but then the only trap and the very quick downfall could be that I only have 5 trades in a row to lose, and everyone loses 5 trades in a row sometimes in their career, and believe me, I've had that plenty of times, even though my win rate is about 50%. Because you'd have to think about it like this, right? If your win rate is 50%, you're winning 1 and 2 trades. So what is the chance that you lose 2 trades in a row? It is 25%, right? 50% divided by 2, because you're multiplying your losses by 2. So you have to divide your win rate by 2. I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but I think so. Then it's 25%. What is the chance for you to lose 4 trades in a row? It's 12.5%. It's 1/8, right? Then you just do the same math again. 8 trades, it's 6.5%, something like that, 6.75, and goes on and on and on and on. But in the end, there will always be a percentage that you can lose those trades in a row. And basically 12.5% is quite large, right? So 1 in the 10 times, I will probably lose 4 trades in a row. And I think that is quite a good representation of my actual trading. And sometimes they're not big losers, but sometimes they're break even, but that is just due to good trade management. So guys, let me know if any one of you is going to give this a try. I think it is really exciting. I think it is really a refreshing look at the funding space. But remember, risk management is so key with this. And especially if you're maybe getting a bit more excited because now you can pass the challenge even more quickly. So really make sure, I can't say this enough, really make sure that your risk management is on point and that you respect your risk management plan. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like down below if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye guys.